Good evening. Welcome back to MTG Card Collector. Tonight we're going to do a deck tech. And that deck tech is going to be on a deck that I actually did a couple of weeks ago. And I hated it. I didn't even play it. That's the funny part. Never even got to an LGS to play it. It's just every time I sat down and would go through the deck, I hated it. It was a Knights deck based off of Queen Marchesa. It just kind of, yeah, it wasn't me. I mean, it was a tribal deck. It was cool, but it just, every time I thought about it, it was just wasn't me. It all revolved around Knights, having Knights out, and I just didn't like it. So I broke it apart, blew it apart, kept a couple of cards, kept a few of them, changed my mind on some things. So my deck's a little weirder, primarily because it's just kind of what I thought would do very well with Marchesa, Queen Marchesa. She's a red, a white, and a black legendary creature, human assassin. She has Death Touch and Haste. When Queen Marchesa enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. At the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent is the monarch, put a 1/1 black assassin creature token with Death Touch and Haste onto the battlefield. So every time I kept thinking about this creature, she has Death Touch, she has Haste. You get to draw a card, because if you're the monarch, at the beginning of your end step, draw a card. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, its controller becomes the monarch. So on your turn, if you attack somebody and they're the monarch, you get to get the monarch back, and you get to draw a card at the end of your end step, which I think is just kind of cool. It's a way of having card advantage over your opponents. And where I play, I don't play a lot of competitive, mostly friendly. I know they do competitive where one of the LGSs, and I might get into that one and learn how to do that better, but for right now. Now, one thing I'll tell you is I hate this token. This token sucks, because what does that look like? Yeah, thank you, Wizards of the Coast, for making the worst crown ever. Anyways, I don't even want to see it there. We're going to take it off. So that's the commander. In support of the commander, Miss Queen Marchesa, I want Chandra, and I want Nahiri the Harbinger. Chandra, Torch of Defiance, 2 and 2. Yeah, 2 and 2 red. +1, exile top card of your library. You may cast a card if you don't. Oh, you may cast that card. If you don't, Chandra, Torch of Defiance deals 2 damage to each opponent. It's a way of adding pressure, and the whole point of this deck is to kind of just keep pressure on an opponent, on all your opponents, on somebody. +1, add 2 to your mana pool. 2 red to your mana pool, which is awesome. Chandra, Torch of Defiance deals 2 damage to target creature. You get, and then that's -3. And the -7, starts out with 4, by the way. -7, you get an emblem with whenever you cast a spell, the emblem deals 5 damage to target creature or player. Yeah, you're never going to be able to get that, because no one's ever going to let you. But hey, because as soon as she hits, everyone gets scared. Nahiri the Harbinger is a nasty one too. 2, a white and a red. You may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. That's cool. She starts out with 4. So it's +2 as you discard a card, you draw a card. -2. Exile target equipment, tapped artifact, or tapped creature. So if someone attacked you, this is a fast way of getting rid of that creature. -8. Search library for an artifact or a creature card. Put it into the battlefield and shuffle your library. It gains haste. Return it to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. So everybody hates her too, but it's a way of getting rid of a creature instantaneously. It's a way of getting card advantage if you want to. And then, of course, if you do get to have that, then you get the best part ever. Search your library for an artifact or creature card, put it in the battlefield, then shuffle your library. It gains haste, return it to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. So now, one card that's not in here is Emrakul. I thought about putting him in, but I just didn't. Everybody's playing Emrakul. I decided not to, so I wanted to talk about those. So in this deck, I've broken it down. I have 30 lands. I know some people are saying that's sacrilege. Yeah, anyways. I have 30 lands. Of the 30 land, 10 white sources, 15 black sources, and 18 red sources. So kind of go through that real quick. Now, there's also a whole lot of lands in here that don't give you a specific color. Shambling Vents. Yep, there's your man land. It gives you white or a black. But it's a man land. I'm not going to go over what a man land is. If you don't know, then you'll have to read the card. Okay, I'll read the card. 1 white 1, a white and a black. Shambling Events becomes a 2/3 black-white elemental creature with lifelink until end of turn is still a land. So it's a man land. Get it? It turns into a creature. Okay. Dragon Skull Summit. Enters battlefield tapped unless you control a swamp or a mountain. Black and red. Sacred Foundry. Red and white. It's a you know what this is. It's a shock land. Clifftop Retreat. Having a hard time seeing the Clifftop Retreat enters unless you own a mountain or a plains. Enters tapped, but hey, it's not. Yeah. Anyways, Blood Crypt, another shock land. This is old school shock land. Enters battlefield. Pay 2. Okay. Anyways, Smoldering Marsh. Enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. Canyon Slough, Cycle Lands, which is great, black and red. Concealed Courtyard. Concealed Courtyard, I think it's called Fast Lands. Forbidding Ruins. I don't remember what these are called, but anyways. As Forbidden enters the battlefield, you reveal a swamp or a mountain card from your hand. If you don't, Forbidding Ruins enters the battlefield tapped. Anyways, Temple Triumph. You get to scry, but it comes in tapped, but you scry 1, it gets you red and white. Nettle Spires enters tapped. It's another man land. Get a 2/1 red elemental creature with double strike till end of turn. It's still a land. It's red and white. Now, these are some of my non-colored lands. Westville Abbey. You get a colorless mana, or if you pay 5, tap it, pay a life. You get a 1/1 white human cleric creature token. Pay 5, tap, sacrifice 5 creatures, transform Westville Abbey, then untap it. Becomes, yep, there you go. Ormanthodal, Profane Prince. Legendary creature, demon, flying, lifelink, indestructible, haste, 9/7. So it's going to draw, this is going to draw out any kind of land hate. Cure Keep. Yeah, you get some 0/1 kobold creature tokens named Kerbal Keep. Yeah, any kobolds of the keep. Slayer Stronghold. Gives you a colorless mana, red and white. Tap it, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains vigilance haste until end of turn. Vault of Archangels, colorless mana, 2, a white and a red. Creatures you control gain Death Touch lifelink till end of turn. Renoop Ruins, because why wouldn't you play it, right? It's a desert. You get a colorless mana. Pay 1 life, add a red to your mana source. 2 and 2 red, tap it, sacrifice a desert. Renoop Ruins deals 2 damage to each opponent. Now I'm going to sacrifice this because I don't have any other deserts in this. There's no other deserts worthy of going into my deck. I just didn't want to. Transguild Promenade. Comes in tapped. You have to pay a land or sacrifice it. Or pay a mana or sacrifice this. And then it gives you 1 of any color, which just kind of helps. You tap it, add 1 event of any color. So it's slow, but, hey, you only have to pay for it once. Great Furnace. It's an artifact land. Pay red. Arkham Refuge. Comes in tapped, but you gain a life. Gets black or red. Teetering Peaks. Another tap land. But you get a +2 until end of turn on a creature. So hopefully you're getting this anyways, hopefully you're attacking the turn you're going to put that out. Aether Hub, because it's just valuable in this stage of the game. You get a energy counter, or if you just tap it, you get a colorless mana. If you pay the 1 energy counter, then you get to pick a color that you want. Cinder Marsh, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. If you or tap, add black red to your mana pool. Cinder Marsh does not untap during your next untap phase. So it's a nice way of getting a red or a black, but you have to wait, or you don't get it the next turn. So Nomad Outpost comes in tapped, but you get a red, a white, or a black. 2 plains, 2 mountains, and 3 swamps. That's your lands. That's my lands. I kind of like that. I like that mix. And I know some people are going to be thinking, okay, why? Because within this deck, I have 19 white, I have 29 black, and I have 21 red. Of the white, the 19 white, 7 of them have 2 white symbols, and 6 of them are multiple colors. So a black and a white, a black and a red, white, and a black. So the black 29, 11 of those are double blacks. Also 11 of them are multiple or mixed colors. 21 red. I have 1 that's a double red, which is actually Chandra. And then 7 of those are multiple colors, red, white, and black. So let's go over the creatures. Creatures, I got 30 of them. 10 of them are white. No, I'm sorry. Creatures, I got 26 of them. 8 of them are white, and then of course 3 of them are double white. But we're going to go through this. I'll just tell you the quick numbers. 26 creatures. So Falkenrath Gorger, 1 red. Each vampire creature you control owns that isn't on the battlefield has madness. The madness cost is equal to its madness cost, or its mana cost. It's a 2/1. You don't really want this on turn 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5. You want this when you have a couple of vampires saved up in your hand. So when you cast this, you can cast those pretty quickly too. Well, if you have to discard. So if this is in, sorry, I forgot how madness works. I apologize. If this is on the field and you have a couple of vampires in your hand and you're forced to discard, you can pay the madness cost, and it automatically they go into play. So you don't have to discard them, you can cast them. So anyways, Falkenrath Gorger, 1 red. Crypt Breaker, 1 black. 1 in a black, tap, discard a card, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. Tap 3 untapped zombies you control, you get you draw a card and you lose 1 life. So you're not going to be making too many creatures. Well, I guess you could make some. The zombie creatures, if you get enough zombies out, then if you get 3 or 4 of them, then you can just tap them, keep tapping them. Zulaport Enforcer, I like this one. It's 1, but it's level. It has level up abilities. It does cost 4, so you're not going to really cast this on the first turn. But maybe, maybe if you do, just to have a 1/1 creature out. But if you cast it on turn, let's say 5, right? And on turn 6, you can do 1 level up. Level up 1, it's a 3/3. Level up 3. So if you cast this on turn 3 and you're able to, get it on 4, 5, and 6 on level 6, it's a 5/5 creature. So 6 turn anyways. It's a 6. It's a, yeah, you get it. If you have nothing else better to do. Death Greeter plus cost 1. I love this card. Whenever another creature is put into a graveyard from play, you gain 1 life, or you may gain 1 life. It's really cool because you don't have to attack, you don't have to kill, you don't have to do anything. If a creature goes into the graveyard, you get a life. It's their creature, your creature, someone else's creature. Someone attacks someone else. Doesn't matter. You may gain 1 life. You might as well gain a life, right? Pulse Tracker costs 1. Whenever Pulse Tracker attacks, each opponent loses 1 life. So you can gain a life. Even if this guy dies, they're gonna lose a life. So I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. They automatically lose at least 1 life. Indulgent Aristocrat, 1 blue or 1 black, has lifelink. It's a 1/1. Pay 2, sacrifice a creature, put a 1/1 counter on each vampire you control. Guess what? It's a vampire. It's really nice. It's a vampire. Goblin Bushwhackers. It costs 1, has a kicker of 1. When Goblin Bushwhackers enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, creatures you control get +1, +0, and gain haste until end of turn. So, Furnace Scamp costs 1. I know people love this card. Actually, they absolutely hate this card. When Furnace Scamp deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it. If you do, Furnace Scamp deals 3 damage to that player. So yeah, okay, it only costs 1. You bring it down turn 1. Turn 2, you're attacking somebody. Anybody, doesn't really matter. You're going to cause 1. You sacrifice it, you cause 4 points of damage to them. There you go. In a game that you start out with 40 life, 4 points of life is not that much. Atali, Eternal Pilgrim, 1 black, 1 white. Has Death Touch, which is really what I wanted. Sacrifice another creature, you gain life equal to the sacrifice creature's toughness. 1, a white, and a black. Sacrifice another creature, exile target non-land permanent. Activate this ability only if you have at least 10 life or more from your starting life. You're not really going to care about this last part. You care about the Death Touch. You want to kill something. It's a 2/3. You can sacrifice another one if you're getting low on life, but it's a 2/3. You're going to trade up all the time. They're attacking you with something big. You can block with that and kill it. It's also a legendary. Remember that, legendary. Anafenza, Kin Tree Spirit, 2 white. I love this one because it's foil. Foil. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, bolster 1. This one's pretty much going to sit and just pump up all your other creatures. So it's nice. It's 2/2. It's going to pump up a whole lot of creatures. On Crop Crasher. Yep, I had to bring it from Amonkhet. 2 and 1. Has haste. Why wouldn't you use it? When you may exert On Crop Crasher as it attacks. When you do, target creature can't block this turn, and exert a creature won't untap during your next untap step. So you can make them not block with 1 creature. So that's kind of cool. I like it. Kumbal, Console of Allocation, white, a black, and a 1 of anything. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So it's pretty nice. You get it out there. They're going to hate this, so they're going to instantly kill it. But remember that it's a legendary creature. How many legendaries have we seen so far? I think just 2. Just want to make sure. Nope, 3. Legendary, and a legendary. Remember the legendaries. They're important. Olivia, mobilized for war. 1 black, 1 red. Vampire Knight. It's a vampire, though. It's always important. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may discard a card. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on that creature. It gains haste until end of turn, and it becomes a vampire in addition to its other types. I like that. You can like instantly just pump a creature and go. There you go. Bontu the Glorified. It's a 4/6. Has menace. Has indestructible. Bontu the Glorified can't attack or block unless a creature died under your control this turn. That's easy enough to do. Pay 1 and a black. Sacrifice another creature. Scry 1. Each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. This is one of those cards I put in that is kind of on the iffy side. I'm going to put it right here because I might change it out for something else. Excuse me. I knew it was going to happen. Wanted to bring this. This episode is brought to you by Cherry Coke, or a Cherry Coke. I normally don't drink Coke, but whatever. I'm not even a Pepsi fan. 1 and 2 black. Royal Assassin. Tap to destroy target tap creature. Bygone Bishop, because you want some colorless or some clue artifacts. Anyways, 2 and a white, flying. Whenever you cast a creature spell with converted mana cost 3 or less, investigate. It's a 2/3 creature and it's flying, so it's kind of cool. The clues are nice because you get to draw a card. Pay 2, sacrifice your artifact, draw a card. Mindrack Demon, 2 and 2, flying, trample. When Mindrack Demon enters the battlefield, put top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard. Delirium, at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 4 life unless there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. So it's Delirium, you want 4 card types. Instant, let's see, a land, a creature, a sorcery, an instant, or whatever, an artifact, an enchantment, a planeswalker. 4, and you don't have to pay. You don't lose the 4 life, which is really nice. So, anyways, Falkenrath Aristocrats, 2, a black and a red, has flying and haste. Sacrifice creature. Falkenrath Aristocrats is indestructible this turn. If the sacrificed creature was a human, put a +1/+1 counter on Falkenrath Aristocrats. So it's a 4/1, which is really cool. It becomes indestructible, which is really cool as long as you sacrifice a human. Well, you sacrifice any creature, it becomes indestructible. If you sacrifice a human, it gets a +1/+1 counter on it. So it becomes a 5/2. Heliod, God of the Sun. It's a 3/1. Legendary enchantment creature, so there's at least 3 ways to kill it. It's a god. Yes, a god card, kind of like Mr. Bontu. Heliod, indestructible. As long as your devotion to white is less than 5, Heliod isn't a creature. And it gives other creatures you control have vigilance, which is kind of cool. 2 and 2 white, put a 2/1 white cleric enchantment creature token onto the battlefield of 5/6. You're probably never going to be able to use this as a creature in this deck. You're going to attack and kill, and then attack and die. So, anyways, the game would have to go long in order for that to work out. Nice thing is it does count itself. Kalidas, Trader of Get, 2 and 2, has lifelink. If a non-token creature an opponent controls would die, instead exile that card, put it onto put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. Pay 2 and a black, sacrifice another vampire or zombie, put 2 1/1 counters on Kalidas, Trader of Get. Nice thing about this is if you get this out, the turn that you're going to kill one of their big creatures, let's just say Emrakul, you're going to kill it, right? You're going to exile it instead. You kill it, but you're going to exile it instead. You're going to get a 2/2 zombie. Yeah, he's losing a 13/13. You're gaining a 2/2. Doesn't seem like a big thing, but then, of course, you can pay 3, sacrifice it, and make this have a 2/2, a +2/+2 counter on it. It's a 3/4, instantly a 5/6. So that's kind of cool. Hero Bladehold, 2 and 2, 2 white, sorry, has Battle Cry, which I think is the best. says whenever this creature attacks, each other attacking creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. I think that is like the most unused mechanic in all of Magic the Gathering. I'm not going to say it's the best, but it's not used very often. If you think about it, I don't think I've ever seen a Battlecry deck, or at least a Battlecry commander deck. But anyways, whenever Hero of Bladehold attacks, put 2/1/1 white soldier creature tokens onto the field tapped and attacking, which is cool because if it's attacking, then they become 2/1 heroes or white soldier creature tokens. So, anyways, Doom Whisperer, because it's just everywhere right now. 3 and 2, flying, trample, pay 2 life, surveil 2. You might as well surveil 2. You might find the answer pretty quick, right? Surveil 2, which means that you can look at the top 2 cards of your library and put any number of them onto the graveyard and the rest onto the top of your library in any order. So, you know, I'm not like some people just keep burying myself. I'll maybe pay 4 life, do it twice, but if I can find the creature, the answer within those 2 turns, I'm probably not going to win. Angel of Invention, which is nice, 3 and 2 white, has flying, vigilance, and lifelink. It's a 2/1 creature. It gives other creatures +1/+1, but it comes with Fabricate 2, which means you can either put a +1/+1, 2 +1/+1 counters on it, or 2 1/1 servo artifact creature tokens. So you have to choose what you're going to do. I'm pretty keen to, you know, depending on the situation, if I want to go wide or if I want to go, you know, just beefy. If you have a beefy angel, I'm going to put a beefy angel out. Priest of Bloodright, cost 5, 3 and 2 black. I love this card because you get 2 creatures. When a Priest of Bloodright enters the battlefield, put a 5/5 black demon creature token with flying onto the battlefield at the beginning of your upkeep. You lose 2 life. I don't care about that. I really don't care. I'm starting with 40. So with that one there, if I'm able to do it, I'm going to bring out a 5/5 flying black creature, and it's going to end up pretty quick. So, and then of course everyone has to have the Gurmag Angler, 6 and a black, which sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. The zombie fish. Delve, which means you can, you know, exile 6 other creatures, 6 other cards out of your graveyard, and you get a 5/5 for the cost of 1. I can't see anything wrong with that. So we'll put this one on the top. All right, so the next area is my instance. I have 11 instances. Yes, Lightning Bolt. Got to have a Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt deals 3 damage to target creature or player. Basically what this is, and my sorceries, clear the field so that when your creatures attack, you can hit your opponent and get the Monarch. Pure and simple, right? Lightning Bolt. Dark Ritual, because you want more. Shock, to kill a creature. Lightning Strike, to kill a creature. Radiant Purge. I love this one. Exile target multicolored creature or multicolored enchantment. Exile. So if their Monarch is on the board and it's a multicolored creature, you're exiling it. You're not killing it, you're exiling it. I know, I'm a dick. I'm sorry, I'm an asshole. Yep. Yes, I cussed. Abrade. 1 and a red. Why wouldn't you? Abrade deals 3 damage to target creature or destroy target artifact. Dismember. 1 and 2 Phyrexia Black. Phyrexian Blacks mean either pay red or pay 2 life each, which would be a total of 4 life. Don't care. Target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn. It's one of those ways that you get to kill a creature that is indestructible because it's getting -5/-5. It's not taking damage. It's getting -5/-5, which means that it's going down below 0 in toughness. It's dying. It's not taking damage. It's just going away. Unlicensed Disintegration. 1, a black and a red. Destroy target creature. If you control an artifact, Unlicensed Disintegration deals 5 damage to that creature's controller. So, Anguished Unmaking. A white, a black, and a colorless. Exile target non-land permanent. You lose 3 life. Okay. This is your answer to one of their planeswalkers. Hero's Downfall. A white and 2 black. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. War Leader's Helix, 2, a white and a red. War Leader's Helix deals 4 damage to target creature or player, and you gain 4 life. Why wouldn't you play that in a red and white deck? Right? I mean, why not? Next is Sorceries. Gotta have a way of gaining a little bit of life. This is it. This is the only one I believe that's in here. X, 2 and 2. Each opponent loses 2 times X life. You gain life. Life equal to the life lost this way. So if I'm playing it 4 players, I'm gaining a lot of, even if I cast that for 2, it's 2, 2, and 2. So I'm gaining 4, 4, and 4 from everybody. Primeval, Glorious, Rebirth. I want all my legendary creatures back. Remember, legendary creatures, there's at least 7 of them in there. Any of them that are in the graveyard are coming in here. And it includes planeswalkers. Day of Judgment. You're going to hold this because you don't really want to kill all your creatures unless you have no creatures. So you're going to hold this for as long as you can. If you have to discard a card, this is a card you discard. Shambleback. 1 black, exile target creature card from a graveyard. Put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. You gain 2 life. This is a way of getting rid of a Phoenix. So target creature card from a graveyard because the Phoenix has to go into the graveyard. So this is the way you're exiling it. Faithless Looting. Draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Flashback for 3. I love this card. Costs 1. Forked Bolt. Love this card too. Costs 1. Do 2 damage divided among 1, 2, or target creature and or player. So 1 damage to a creature, 1 damage to your player. Who cares? Or 1 to 1 to each creature. Who cares? Unearth. 1. Return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. Has cycling. Collective Brutality. Why would you not have this? Discard a card. And it has Escalate and discard a card. So you pay 2, you get to pick 1. You escalate it, you get to pick another one. You can escalate it for up to 2 times. So, because you get to choose 1, 2, or 3. 1, target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose an instant sorcery card from it. That player discards that card. 2, target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Or 3, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So you can, yeah, you get the point. Night's Whisper, 1 and 1. You draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life. Profane Command, X2. Choose 2. Target player loses 2 life, or return target creature card from converted mana cost X or less from your graveyard and battlefield, and target creature gains X, -X until end of turn, or up to X target creature gain Fear until end of turn. Fear is a really good one here. Rift Bolt, 2 and 1. Rift Bolt deals 3 damage to target creature or player, but you can also suspend this for 1 turn by paying 1. If you don't know what suspend is, it's an old mechanic. You basically suspend it, pay 1, you wait 1 turn, then this spell hits, which could be kind of cool because you can say, I'm going to suspend this and wait, maybe take the damage and see if they have a better creature come out. Diabolic Tutor, 2 and 2. Search the library for a card and put that card into your hand, then shuffle your library. Got to have some form of way of getting your creature, finding a creature, something. Cut and Ribbons. Cut 2 ribbons. Cut deals 4 damage to target creature, and then when it's in the graveyard, it has Aftermath. You can cast it. Each opponent loses X life. So it's kind of a nifty way of playing that card twice. Enchantments. Because if you're going to pay for a lot for enchantments, at least have something beneficial, right? History of Benelia gets you at least 2 creatures to put on the board. Yeah, turn 3, they're beefed up, but you're hopefully getting at least the 2 creatures. Spear of Heliod. Creatures you control get +1/+1. And if you pay 1 and 2 white, tap it, destroy target creature that dealt damage to you this turn. So it's a way of killing off creatures. Mardu's Ascendancy. A red, a white, and a black. Whenever a non-token creature you control attacks, put a 1/1 red goblin creature token onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. Sacrifice Mardu Ascendancy. Creatures you control get +0/+3 until end of turn. So it's a nice way of shoring up your defenses in case they attack really hard. Underworld Construction, 1 and 2 black. Enchant land. Pay 1 life, draw a card. You want to get this out early and fast, but if you don't, then hopefully it'll pay for itself later on. Discard it. Goblin War Drums. Put some pressure on your opponents. How many times have you seen this old cards from Fallen? Each attacking creature you control, opponent chooses to block, may not be blocked with fewer than 2 creatures. Basically, you're giving every creature you control menace. So since they can't kill off one of your creatures with one of their creatures, they're going to try to take this out as fast as possible. And that's fine, because the more that they waste on this, the less they waste on your creatures. Divine Visitation. You're going to put this down hopefully as soon as you can. If 1 or more creature tokens would be created under your control, that many 4/4 white angel creature tokens with flying and vigilance are created instead. So you've heard me say a couple of times in here, you're getting another creature, you're getting you know, the 5/5 demon, if he comes in as an angel, at least it comes in with vigilance. But I'm trying to remember the one card in there that comes in with the angel that comes in with the 2 Thopters. They're not Thopters now. Now they're 4/4 angels, so that's awesome. Okay, so I had 6 enchantments. I had 11 instants, 13 sorceries, 26 creatures, 30 lands, and now I got artifacts. I have 12. Of the 12, 2 of them are 6 of them are mana sources, 4 of them are equipments, and 2 of them are just regular artifacts, and I'll explain that. So, of my mana rocks, I got Gilded Lotus, which gets you 3 of any one color. Mardu Banner gets you 1 of any of the 3 colors. You can also sacrifice it, draw a card. Darksteel Ingot, because sometimes you just need an indestructible artifact that gives you mana. Rakdos Signet gives you 2, black and a red. Felwar Stone gives you 1 of any color. Mana of your opponents doesn't really matter. Gives you 1 of any color. And Mox Amber, 1 of any color, as long as legendary creatures that you control. So, worst case scenario, colorless mana. Excuse me. Colorless mana, black and a red. 1 mana of any color. Red, white, and black, 3 of any color, and then hopefully if you got legendary out, this works. If not, then it's a cannon fodder. Okay, Timrid's Crypt, it's a 0 cost, sacrifice it, remove all cards from a player's graveyard. You know there's always that one blue player that always goes back into his graveyard. Here's your answer for getting rid of his graveyard. And then of course Panharmonicon, if an artifact or creature entering the battlefield causes ability to trigger, of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers twice. So in the case of that one angel that comes in, let me see if I can find her real quick. She comes in, instead of getting 2 +1/+1, she would actually get 4 +1/+1s, or 4 artifact creature tokens. Oh, that would be 1/1 servos. Remember him, Priest of the Bloodright? You'd get 1 black 5/5 black demon creature. Well, that you would actually get 2 off Panharmonicon. You'd get 2 of those creatures, which would be really kind of cool. Hero of the Bladeright, you'd get 4 1/1s. If you have the other enchantment out, you get 4 +1/+1s. I'm sorry, 4/4 angels. So there's a lot of way of going big if you're able to survive, if you're able to do it. And then the last bit of the artifacts is Elberos, the Binding Blade, 7, equipped creature, +1/+0. When equipped creature deals damage to a player, unattach Elberos, the Binding Blade, then transform it. It becomes Withengar Unbound, legendary creature demon, flying, intimidate, and trample. Whenever a player loses the game, put 13 +1/+1 counters on Wither Unbound. It's a 13/13. So if one of you 4 goes away, he gets bigger if he's still in play. Black Blade Reforged, +1/+1 for each land you control. And then, of course, legendaries only cost 3. Any other creature, it costs 7. Foot Boots. Equipped creature has haste and hexproof. Helm of the Host. Because if you're going to Helm of the Host anything, I mean, I can think of a lot of creatures I'd want to Helm of the Host. You know, if you have to. Especially creatures that are going to, you know, I'm trying to think here, are really going to benefit you in the long run or in the short run immediately. And in some cases, those creatures don't even have to be big creatures. They can be small creatures. You know, think about how many times Italia, Ayla, whatever her name is, you just put Helm of the Host on her, you keep getting Death Touch creatures, 2/3 Death Touch, 2/3 Death Touch, 2/3 Death Touch. You know, they're eventually gonna try to get rid of the Helm of the Host. But yeah, if you can put it on her, you get 2 Death Touch with haste, both of them with haste. And if one of them will be a non-legendary creature, one of them will be a legendary creature, so you can keep having more and more. Doesn't really matter, does it? So that's my deck. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to leave me a comment. If you like the deck, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what's going on. One thing I will tell you is make sure you have enough tokens for this deck. You're going to need them. I don't think I'm going to treasure the Thopters. You're going to need a lot of possibles, scenarios. Don't think I'm going to need those. Anyway, so leave a comment down below. Very much appreciate it. And if you could, if you could, yeah, definitely leave a comment down below. It helps out immensely. Subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed, and hit that bell for notification. Have a great night, and I'll see you on Friday. Apologize about this being a day late.